And here we go. Welcome into the Motivation Congregation Podcast. My name is Michal Baruch. Thanks for being here. Thanks for waking up with us. If you are new to the show, well, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Be sure to rate and review the show. Really helps to grow the platform. And a bit of background information about what the Motivation Congregation is. Well, it's a daily podcast that talks Torah and Musar. Each talk is 3 to 5 minutes, centered around the week's Parsha. Normally things are kicked off with Rashi's commentary with a very, very simple goal at the heart of every single talk, and that is to clearly define the basic principles of Jewish faith, or what we call here, Yesodos HaEmunah. Hopefully each talk you'll find inspiring. Each talk is crafted to motivate and to galvanize. And be sure to check out the weekly Parsha podcast. It's part of the TMC Podcast Network. It is a weekly podcast that gives us a bit more time, about 25 to 30 minutes weekly, to discuss one point of the Parsha. It gives us some extra time to develop the idea properly, to pepper it with proofs, and to clarify it, elucidate it, and hopefully come out with a clear and practical takeaway. If you enjoy the show, or you just wish for some financial stability and success along with a piece of paradise to look forward to, consider allocating your Meiser funds properly. Tithe your wealth to see future and enduring wealth. That's what we are told. So in your tithes, be sure to keep the Motivation Congregation in mind, and perhaps slide that scroller down to the bottom of the page and click the link and become a monthly supporter of the show. The Meiser money that you give and the charity that you give, the tzedakah, goes directly towards the aiding of the distribution and the creation of the Torah content here, and with a piece of the next world as a reward. Seems like a no-brainer. I mean, unless, of course, one is a professional scoffer, gossiper, or heretic, then maybe he wouldn't have a portion of the next world. But either way, consider allocating some of your Meiser money to the show. Lastly, be sure to subscribe to the Motivation Congregation on WhatsApp, where you can wake up on a highlight every morning and stream the daily talk. You can even have it sent directly to your phone, in which case you will then never forget to wake up on a highlight. Plus, with all the other motivational content, the in-depth Sefarim book reviews, the trips to the Sefarim stores, the behind-the-scenes looks, the bonus material, it has a lot going on, and perhaps you will enjoy it. So find the link in the show notes. And as always, thanks for waking up with us. I hope you find this episode enlightening and inspiring. And your listenership and engagement, it really means a lot. So thanks again, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Zealotry is kind of like shopping in Saks Fifth Avenue. Because if you have to ask the price, well, then you can't afford it, and it's not for you. Pinchas was rewarded with the covenant of peace, wholesomeness, goodness, as a reward for his acting on his own whims, acting unilaterally, charging forward with a spear in his hand, and killing the outright rebellious sinners, Cosby and Zimri, who were sinning in public. The halacha tells us that Pinchas wasn't just acting spontaneously, but there was a legal basis for this. For in certain horrible events, kanoim pogim bo, a person can mete out punishment and he doesn't have to wait for proper jurisprudence. But the act, so incredible, so strong, Pinchas showing so much gevura, that maybe the commentators suggest that because of this, he ended up becoming Eliyahu Hanavi and never dying. because of this great act of avenging God's vengeance. And even after his great act, which needed miracles from God to enable it, you'd think that it would be enough that people would finally back Pinchas. But just like anybody who's ever done something good in politics, people immediately still begin to push back and say, "What have you done for me lately?" Rashi tells us that the tribes were still snickering after Pinchas acted spontaneously, saying, "Yeah, but your great-grandfather used to do avodah zarah. He used to hang out with Buddha or have unfiltered internet." Still making fun of him. Still not backing him. And the Altar of Kelm points out the most basic takeaway that one should have from Parshas Balak and Pinchas. That the gevura, the strength needed to step forward and do what's right sometimes, is so immense. But a person can judge himself based on how much he hates evil. He hates when somebody goes against God's will, and he's willing to act on it. That shows that Oave Hashem, when you really love God, Sinu Ra, you hate evil. That is the takeaway, that a person should be Pinchas-like a zealot. He should show strength and gevura, because if not for Pinchas, acting as brazen as he did and as strong and as courageous as he did, who knows, maybe there wouldn't be a Klal Yisrael, because the plague was just wiping us out, and before 24,000 of us passed away, until finally things were saved. The takeaway should be to act with gevura in your Yiddishkeit, to hate evil, even in a generation that is totally accepting of all different behaviors. As Jews, we believe in right and wrong, and it probably is not in your best interest to go around stabbing people. In fact, most definitely you should not do that. But you should act with strength for what you know is right, at least in your own life. And serve Hashem with passion. Serve Hashem with your entire heart. And epitomize gevura, real, true courage and strength in your avodas Hashem, just like Pinchas did.